Body, good evening. Hope you're all well. Hope you're having a good week. Hope you're staying dry in this miserable weather that we're having. Good to see you all. Welcome to the Community Insight Show. And this evening we are going to be discussing spirituality and how to live spiritually and what it means to be spiritual. So we'll be getting all your opinions on that and then some. So we'll just wait for a few people to come on and say hello. And helping me this evening will be the lovely Christine Davis. And we will be giving...
Good evening, everybody. I hope you're all well. And Stace is right, it's been awful weather today, absolutely awful.
Yes, but we will be giving readings throughout the show. Also throughout the show, we would like your ideas. What would you like to be seen on the show? What would you like to be discussed on the show? Because as much as we love doing the content and I love doing all the research, it would be helpful if you gave us what you wanted to hear about or what you wanted to learn more about. So give us your ideas. Yay. So who have we got on? Have we got anybody on yet? Scroll them. Hi, Laura Grant from Facebook. Good morning from Canada. Hope you're well. I'm very well, thank you. Hope you are too. Hi from Dagenham, says Caroline Sandbrooks on Facebook. And we've got Helen Smith on Facebook as well, saying hello. Beautiful roses. Hi, Rain Cloud. How are you, my darling? Watching from YouTube. Hi, Izzy on YouTube. How are you, my darling?
Hi, Izzy.
And even Christine got a hello. There you go. Good evening, Jill. How are you? Watching on YouTube. Hope you're well. Hi, Linda, watching on Facebook. Would love a reading. We will be doing readings throughout the show. Let me know if you're a VIP. Also, let us know if it's your first time to the channel. Welcome to all the newbies if you're new. Hi, Crystal Rose, watching from YouTube. Good evening to you. Beautiful butterfly. Hi, Nadina Hatch Newkirk. Hello to you on Facebook. Hi from South Wales. What's the weather like in Wales, Catherine? Also watching from Facebook. Hope you're well. And if you can hear the little squeaks in the background, they're my kittens. They found their voices and found their feet. So they're roaming around and squeaking like little mice at the minute. Hi, Dee, watching on Facebook. Hello to you. Appropriately, the one that's squeaking is called Squeaker. Hi, Chrissy. How are you, my darling, watching from YouTube? You're from the United States. What's the weather like over there across the pond? Oh, now there's a question. Do you believe in reincarnation? Yes, I do, is the simple answer to that. I do believe that we have the choice whether to come back to this earth after death or not, once we've done everything we need to do up in the heavens, as some people call it. Do I believe we can come back as other people? Yes, I do. Absolutely, I do. Rainbow children being the big one. What about you, Christine? Do you believe in reincarnation?
Yeah, to a point, I think we come back as something or other. Because I know they say life carries on when you die, but we must come back as something. Just to keep.
It can't be all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can't be all. I definitely don't believe life ends here, and I definitely don't believe that life ends up there either.
No.
We come from there in the first place, I believe anyway. What about you, Raincloud? Do you believe in reincarnation? Now, there are some people that do believe we can come back as other beings, such as animals. I'm not sure whether I believe that or not, but I definitely believe we come back as other human beings. Crystal Rose, I thought I could hear kittens. Yeah, they're mine. All 6 of them. It's a bit of a crazy house at the minute. It sounds more like Animal Farm. Melissa, she believes in reincarnation, watching from YouTube. Yeah, it's a good way. So the question. Oh yes, don't forget you can join in the conversation as well as being watching from YouTube and Facebook. You can join in the conversation by joining us on Zoom if you'd like to come on and join us to discuss anything and to answer the questions that we're going to be asking as well. If you would like to come on Zoom, just say Zoom me up, Richard, pinching Karen's phrase there, and Richard will put the Zoom link in the chats for you. Just click the link and you are welcome to join us. We'd be happy to have you on. You don't have to have your video on if you don't want to, but it would be great to have a chat with people. So come on and join us.
Have you read that, Stace?
Yes, I believe in reincarnation, and I was also wondering, when you do reincarnate, do you get to keep the good parts of you? Oh, now there's, well, see, nobody really knows, do they? None of us are going to know until we get there. But when you do reincarnate, I believe that when we pass over to the other side, we have what we call a life review. And it takes us through all the lessons that we've learned on earth while we've been here. And then I think maybe some healing and a little bit of lessons up there for what we need to learn. I believe we get the chance to come back. I don't believe we're forced to come back. Do you keep the good parts? I think if there's still lessons to learn, then we keep the good and the bad parts, because nobody is 100% perfect, are they?
No.
So I believe that nobody can be all good. We can be 99% good, but that's what shadow work is for, isn't it? Shadow work, you work on the flaws of yourself, if you like, the flaws of your being. So I believe you keep the good parts of yourself, of your personality, or maybe you get a choice. It's like signing a contract, isn't it? Some people believe you sign a contract to what lessons you want to learn, what lessons you need to learn, how you want to be, where you want to be. But again, nobody knows till we get there. What about you, Christine?
I was going to reverse it, actually. You know, if you've done something bad while you've been down here, do you right yourself? You don't say bad. I mean, Raincoat put, do you keep the good side? Nobody wants, if they've done something bad while they've been on Earth plane, then can they turn themselves around?
That's what I believe the life review and healing up in heaven is about.
Then be changed, you know, come back again and be a good person. You know, if someone's murdered someone or something, we all must go to the same place.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. You got
someone is reincarnated,
right yourself.
Yeah. If someone is reincarnated, like say my late 16-year-old daughter, would we still see each other when I pass away?
Oh yes.
Well, yes, because your soul, the way I see it is your soul is a separate entity from your physical shell. So even though, yeah, I don't think that's impossible.
No, there's still be
because
there.
your soul, your higher self is still up there. So it'd be like, I don't know if my granddad was suddenly reincarnated into. Yeah. Richard's come up with a good point. So sometimes he thinks that the guides and the spirit that we talk to, that we connect with, are actually our higher selves. So again, that isn't out of the realms of possibility either. So I would say it's possible. You still definitely see each other and meet each other. Like when somebody transitions, your family comes to greet you and takes you to the other side. I do believe that happens. And there's still that soul connection there, even if there isn't the physical connection there, there's still that soul connection there. Hi, Jen. Thank you for joining us. Are you all right, my lovely? Oh, bless you.
We all do it.
My lovely. I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Good, good. What's your views on reincarnation?
I very much believe in reincarnation, and I very much believe that I very much believe in I very much believe that depending on how we go through this life dictates what our next life is.
So sort of like a karma.
Yeah, kind of like a karma. Yes.
That would make sense. So anything that you do wrong in this life, you atone for in the next. Is that a typical belief though, or is that a belief that's been ingrained in us from sort of the religious stories of the Bibles and stuff, do you think?
That's a great question. That's a great question, because I did grow up, partially grow up with the Bible, so that may be part of it.
Yeah, I did as well. I do believe in karma. I do believe that some things you do wrong, you have to make up for. Whether you make up for it in this life or the next life, again, is open to speculation, isn't it? Because we don't know till we get there. Laura says, my son was reincarnated when he was little. He would tell me about his life before this one. See, I've heard there was a show on Netflix, and I can't remember what it was called. Everybody watched it. Something surviving death.
Yeah.
I think it was called, and it was all about people that had been reincarnated that could memorize their previous lives, and they could what's the word? My mind's gone blank. They could relive everything that they had lived through in the previous life. When they got names, dates, places, jobs, what kind of family life they had, and when they checked out all the details, 99% of it would all add up. And it was really interesting, actually, really interesting. Yeah, I mean, Richard just said about having people doing research, and if they'd done all that research, they could pick it up from that. But an 8-year-old child isn't going to be that clever, are they, to do all the research to be able to reenact his previous life? He's not going to be able to give exact names, exact dates, exact locations, is he? 8-year-old, I don't know. See, adult, yeah, I can kind of see where that doubt is. But when it's a child reliving a previous life, it kind of makes me wonder. But the parents can feed the child is the point that Richard's just made, which is true. The parents can feed the child. So yeah, it's a bit of a grey area, isn't it, really? Linda Fair on Facebook. You should come on and give your views, Richard. You're part of it as well. Linda first.
Oh, here we go. Hi, everybody. Can you hear me? It's just I have a theory, if you don't mind. Some of you might have heard this already, but I like to give my thoughts about it. Now, I could be wrong. I'm not saying I'm right either, but it's just a thought that goes through my mind. Now, we're always told that we have a spirit guide. People see their spirit guide, some people don't. Now, just picture this for a moment. What if our spirit guide is truly us, our own mind? So when we sit down, see, but my guide's an Indian, or my guide's a Native American, or my guide's a Buddhist, or my guide's the fisherman down the road. Well, it's how we're perceiving that energy to be? What makes us feel more comfortable? Is it because it's this ego kicking in? Why would a Native American Indian who's never known you come and support you when they want to come and support their own tribe? So that's what I question. But going back to my theory, is it the spirit guide, which is us? That's our soul, that's our energy. So when we pass and we make these choices to come back again, still part of our energy is in the spirit world. It stays there to guide us, to protect us, or whatever the case may be. And that guide, i.e. us, is still learning from what we're doing. So when we pass and we see our lives again, the spirit guide knows what's going on. So if we do have a reincarnation, we can come back as another person, if you believe in it is a person, and you live another life. But your spirit guide still has that connection with you. Hence why we possibly get deja vu. Or we get that instinct of think, I know this person. Why do I feel comfortable? No, I've only just met this person, but it feels like I've known them all their lives. Well, maybe you did in a previous life, and they knew you in a previous life. So there's those energies that still has that memory that somehow in the matrix, it comes through to our minds. Just a theory, just a thought.
It's a very good one, though.
Yeah.
It's one that you can't really argue with.
No.
Because it all makes sense.
But people, please come on, share your
Yes,
views.
come on and join us and join in the conversation and the debate, because we like to have little conversations and debates, and it's always better when you hear your voice. What do you think, Jen?
I've had I do, and then I've had a number of past life regression sessions, like hypnotherapy sessions. And
wow.
yeah, and in those hypnotherapy sessions, the ones that I've done, the very first one showed me 10 lives, and it was recorded. And when I went back and checked the details, there was things like a crocus infestation that you know that killed out all crops, and there was a famine and things like that. And it was true. It was literally, it had happened, and there was no way that I would have known that otherwise. So some of those things really make me kind of confirm or help create my beliefs, I guess you could say, just because of the experiences that I've had. Although, you know, Richard, I totally understand what you're saying too, because I've thought that when I've met my guides is, you know, is this just my brain telling me that this is what it is, or, you know, making up this piece of what I think it should be?
That's interesting, yeah, because a lot of mediums go through that in the beginning. A lot of psychics and mediums, when they're developing, I know I did when I first started developing, you think, is it spirit, or is it me?
Yes.
And you do doubt yourself, and it makes me doubt myself even more, because I don't very often hear voices as such. I just get the words in my head, but it's always in my own voice. So I'm like hearing myself, giving myself this information. So I often doubt whether it is spirit or whether it's me. And that's part of my problem. This is why I'm still so sort of, even though I've been doing it for 3 or 4 years, I still class myself as a beginner, so to speak, because I don't fully trust that it's not me at the moment. I'm getting there slowly. Sometimes you just have to bite the bullet and roll with it. But yeah, what about you, Christine? Do you have that issue as well?
You know me. I've been told by several people that spirit will never let you down. They always said to back you up. But even now, no, I still think, even though I can see them or whatever, and they're talking in my ears, I still think, am I doing justice to them? Am I correcting what I'm saying? I think it all the time when I'm giving a reading. And when people say, no, you're spot on, that's right, everything's correct, you're correct at everything, it's all right. And I think to myself, well, I must be doing something right. But then I don't know, I come away still thinking, no, I don't know.
But when you hear them, are you hearing it in a different voice, in a different accent, or are you hearing it in your own voice?
Weird. I don't hear it in my voice. No, if it's a lady, I just hear a lady's voice.
But it's not your voice.
It's not my voice. If I hear a gentleman, it's a man's voice. But I couldn't tell you if it's their voice or not. Now, if I have children come through, I hear children's voices. So,
Very, very strange.
yeah,
But
and
let us know what you all think online on Facebook and YouTube. Let us know how you think. Do you, if you're a practicing medium or a experienced medium even or psychic, let us know. Do you hear voices in different accents and different tones, or is it actually coming from your own voice that you hear? Let us know what you think. And again, don't forget you can join us. Just click the Zoom link that Richard's put up in the comments.
Yeah, I'll do that again.
Come and join us and have a little chat with us.
Yeah.
Like I say, you don't have to have your camera on. All we needed your voice.
You don't
We'd love to
bite.
have it on. Laura on Facebook says one of my guides is an Indian. Apparently, I was his brother in a previous life.
May I
now
go on that
would
one?
make-
Oh, go on.
No,
You
go
got me
on.
going. Well,
No, go
okay,
on.
so one of my guys is an Indian. Apparently, I was his brother in a previous life. Okay, so let's go back to that previous life. Let's think about that. Let's have a thought about being regressed into a previous life. When you are born, you instantly start to learn. Yeah? You start to grow. Your brain expands.
Yeah.
The body expands. And it carries on expanding if you eat too much sweets. But on a serious note, what if, and yet again, these are my crazy thoughts that come through. What if, as we grow, we absorb in what our parents are saying? And it's been proven that babies react when you're pregnant with their parents. That's been proven. So what if, as we grow, we're hearing things on television, we're reading, but as you start to learn to an age where you start to read, you start to understand more. And as you grow older, these memories just fade. How many of you can honestly say, when you were 5 years old, you can remember a lot about your life? You can remember some parts of it, but not all of it. Okay. So could it be then, when you're being regressed and you're being hypnotized as to say what's happened, is it a memory that you have seen, you have read, or what you've understood as a child growing up? And all of a sudden it's coming to the forefront. But so you haven't lived that previous life, but you can remember what was on television. If you went back and said to someone, I was an Egyptian, seems everybody was an Egyptian for some reason. We've got 1,400 Cleopatras everywhere. Is it because maybe you watched the film Cleopatra as a child and not quite understood when that came out in the 60s? Maybe you watched it in the 70s or the 80s and didn't understand you was a child. So as you get older, this memory comes through again because of the regression. Yet again, just a theory, just a thought.
Well, isn't that what regression is supposed to do, though, isn't it? It's supposed
Yeah,
to
but
bring
it's not
back
a past
memories.
life. Somebody's putting themselves
Yeah,
saying
no,
it's
I
a
get what
past
you.
life.
Yeah. So you don't actually know if it's a past life. It could just be a past memory from your years that you've sort of, that's been lying deep in the subconscious somewhere.
Yeah.
You don't know what's left there, do you? I mean, you know what your brain keeps holding on to.
Well, no, because like Richard said, you remember from a certain point in life. I mean, I think the earliest memory I've got is from when I was about 7 years old. Anything before that, it's just little bits of flash. I remember having, I remember our dog Sheba, and I know she died before I was in school, but that's the only snippet I can remember. So if I was regressed, no doubt a lot of memories from that time probably would come from the forefront because of it'd be like having little flashbacks, wouldn't it?
Mm.
Have we got any more comments on Facebook? What are the people saying? Melissa on YouTube. In my dreams the last few weeks, my daughter was using words like departure and sectors and a bunch of other words she never used here on Earth.
She's obviously learning.
Hmm. Very thought-provoking, Richard, says Izzy on YouTube. It is very thought-provoking. I hear in my voice thoughts, but it's often using phrases, terminology that I don't use. See, that for me is a big clue that it is spirit, because there's words
Yeah.
that I don't use in my everyday life, that I would never dream of using, that sometimes come through. But again, that's not all the time. But again, you hear in your voice. So like Richard said, that could be your higher self talking to yourself, or your soul self talking to yourself, rather than actually connecting with spirit. It is very, very thought-provoking.
Yeah.
Independent puppy. Oh, I like that name. I remember things as well. It doesn't mean it's from some spiritual world, though. So you've got somebody who agrees with you there, Richard. No, it doesn't always necessarily mean it's
No.
from spiritual. That's
It
the
makes-
thing, it's knowing whether or not it is. 'Cause like you say, you've only got the person that's doing the regression saying that it's from a past life. And you have to trust that. It's whether or not. So it doesn't help when you can't remember the actual regression.
Higher intelligence. Yeah.
Higher intelligence, yeah, exactly.
Okay, now think about another theory. You got me on a roll now, Stace. You shouldn't have joined this subject.
Who started this conversation?
I want to put a scenario in your mind. Do you remember the old TV shows in the 80s of the Hulk?
Yeah.
You know the story of Hulk, where Harry,
I know
how
the story
his-
of Hulk.
yeah, how his wife died in a car crash, and he couldn't lift the car to get out of the way, so he tried to experiment to get this energy, this power. Where it's been documented over time that all of a sudden, mainly mothers, when their child is in danger, they turn into this some kind of superwoman, this strength that comes through, and they do anything they can to protect their child, right?
Mhm.
And it's been proven, it's been documented that some women show the possibility of moving heavy objects that is impossible for them to move, okay, to survive or to protect. What if then our brain does the same sort of thing? We all have this fear of death. Our brain jolts if you're just starting to fall asleep, and the brain makes you jolt up because it thinks you're dying. You're not meant to be dying. Okay, it's a given fact. So what if the brain does something similar, as in when we're starting to doze off, we relax our minds, and then we start to hear things. We start to hear these voices. Is it our conscious mind? Is it because our muscles are not overreacting with everyday life? So our subconscious is allowed to come in. It's allowed to talk to us. So this super intelligence, or this knowledge which we wouldn't usually say or do, comes out. Hence the trance ability, like Polly Harnett, for example. When she does her trance, a totally different character comes through of this energy, this spirit. Is it spirit? Or is it because they're in such a state of where the mind is relaxed so much that they're allowed to have their subconscious to come forward that possibly has the answer to that person's question? Because when you go into trance, it's usually a questions and answer session, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yet again, it's just me waffling on, overthinking things, which is very
No,
rare.
it's a good.
But
see, that's
mine's
it.
everywhere.
When we're not relaxed and when our mind is on the daily things, that's exactly what we do. We overthink things all the time, whether it be for a really mild extent to the extreme overthinking where it gets you paranoid and things like that, which is absolutely horrible. But we overthink. So when we are sleeping, most people have spirit visitations when they're asleep or when they're meditating. It's when the mind's relaxed, and it's like when you've been running and the leg muscles relax, it starts twitching on its own. Yeah, it's possible muscles would be more relaxed. Yeah. So you haven't got the energy or the power to overthink when you're asleep. because when you're asleep, you've got no control. So I think that's what it's about. I think it's about that loss of control that allows things to come to the forefront. I wouldn't say everyone, I'm not sure whether I agree with it. I know some people do. With me, I haven't got a fear of death. It's more about the way I'm going to die that scares me, rather than death itself. Melissa says, I believe our mind can be so relaxed that we are more in tune with the spiritual realm. Is it the spiritual realm though, or is it like, I hate to do the stereotypical, but is it like an ET phone home kind of thing? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, if it
So,
is
like,
anything to
when
do VT, you keep your finger where I can see it.
Oh, bless you. But yeah, no, it is. It's like the ET phone home scenario. It's like our bodies are that relaxed that it's not actually the spiritual realm we're contacting, but it's the home where our highest self is, where the soul is. But then how do you explain the dream visitations and the conversations? I mean, I've had my grandparents visit me in my dreams, and we've had some conversations. Some of them I remember, some of them I don't, but they're not conversations that we had or have ever had while they've been on the on Earth.
But then again,
So
that's
I
when you're
know
asleep,
that's,
it's your subconscious, isn't it?
but then if
Not
it
your
comes from
conscious mind,
subconscious, it has
subconscious.
to be a memory, doesn't it?
But
You see what
our
I'm
brains are
saying?
our brains are so complex. You know, we only use, what's it, 10, 15% of our brain? Admittedly, I use
Yeah.
about 97% because I'm on a high intelligence species.
I
Okay,
dread to think what
2%
you'd
with
be
me.
like if you only use 50% then, Richard. But no, what I'm saying is if it all comes from memory and it all comes from the subconscious, and how would I know for a fact that some of the conversations I've had with my grandparents I never had while they was here. So it's not part of a memory, so therefore it can't be part of the subconscious. So how would you explain that?
Easily.
That's got to be, go on.
Right, okay. I'm going to put you in a room, you and Christine and a couple of other people. Okay, put them in a room, and I'm going to give you a pencil. Okay, the fire alarm goes off. Yeah, everybody runs off. We'll get back together, and I'll say, did you see Stace? She had a knife in her hand. And people go, oh yeah, I did see her with a knife in her hand. I've placed a false memory. And over the years, people would keep going back to that scenario. Did she have a pencil? Did she have a knife? Someone said she saw a knife. So all of a sudden, our brain is getting confused. So what does our brain do? We start to put in pictures, stories. Like when you're reading a book, you can start picturing someone, what they look like. These are not memories. This is being created by your mind. A bit like AI. It creates something which is not there. And if you're a good liar and you keep telling the same story time and time again, which is a lie, your brain believes that it's real. So it starts to create pictures, stories, answers, but it doesn't exist. So in that dream state, like, could it be that we are creating a memory, what makes us happy, that makes us feel good within oneself? Yet again, just a thought, just a theory.
Interesting. Linda says the power of lifting, suppressing thought, darkness, higher intelligence, rising to a different level of consciousness. Interesting. Interesting. Neil, you're always got ideal plans, Richard. Very active mind. Oh, he's always got the box
Yeah,
ticking
right.
away.
Yeah.
I think what it is because I question a lot. I don't like having face value because I don't know. This is why I call myself an open-minded skeptic.
Yeah.
Not that I don't disbelieve that there is a spirit. I disbelieve the medium. And not being disrespectful, I really am not, because mediums can get it wrong. It's their own interpretation of something that is the truth. So
Yeah.
if you're communicating with spirit, but spirit can tell you what's going on in your life, but they won't give you your name, and they won't give you your date of birth, and they won't give you your credit card details, PIN numbers. Trust me, I've tried getting people PIN numbers, impossible. But the thing is, if they can give that all that other information, why can't they give the rest? And what do I get when I ask that question to a lot of mediums? Oh, I don't get that. Well, why not? You can get everything else. So that's when I start to question the fidelity of the information given from the individual. I say I'm not calling them a liar, definitely not, because I've seen and I've received messages on this channel and other channels, which is like, wow, how did they know that?
Yeah.
So, but I still question it, because I always remember what Colin Fry said to me once when he was in a trance. I asked him a question, and his response was, question everything, never take it face value. And he's obviously talking about spiritualism and mediums. I said, I'm not putting down mediums, but I think a lot of mediums need to look into themselves and to get where the answer's coming from. Don't just give me information that I've got your dad here, or I've got a father figure here. Well, that could be anything, because most men are fathers, otherwise we wouldn't be here. Secondly, he had a problem with his chest, could have been a heart attack. Well, was it a heart attack? A high percentage of men have cancer or die with a heart attack or have chest problems. So it's this information that, in my view, should be more validated. If they're given that sense, then what can I say? My name is David. I died at 142. I had 13 legs. Why can't they give that? Why can't they give that information? If they can give everything else, and surely if there's an angel that can make sure they've got a parking space, surely they can give me more information. And I run a spiritual channel, and I doubt it.
I suppose it depends on the intention of the medium, doesn't it? You set the intention out, you come up with an agreement with your team as to what information they want to know, need to know. Some mediums are nosy, some mediums aren't. I just show me what you want them to know. Not. I mean, if I was a spirit, I wouldn't want to talk about the way I died or my death. I've got to be honest. It's not something that I would want to bring up in a conversation. Medical conditions, maybe, as long as it's not too personal. So if ever I pass on to the other side, people, just know you're not going to hear about my death through me or through any other medium.
Come back and haunt us all.
I know. What say you, Jen?
It is, you know what, I've thought many times, Richard, the same as you, kind of questioned a little bit and then kind of shut it down, because and it's interesting because when my mom passed over, we were both believers and both psychic mediums, and when my mom passed over, and we in one of our final conversations, I said, okay, so what number? Give me a number so that if you can communicate with me, then you can use this number, or different ways that you could communicate with me. And it was kind of like my little test, right? So I've had her come through many, many times, and she's never once given that number. And I thought it was interesting because we had had the conversation about the number, and I said, well, to verify that you're you, when you come through, would you please give me that number? And she's never given me the number. And I've even, when a medium has been connected to her, I've even asked, Mom, give me the number, but she hasn't. So it's very interesting with those things as well.
Yeah, a lot of people ask for passwords and codes and stuff, don't they? Or just keywords. Yeah, it's very difficult to explain why we don't get them. Maybe because there's other people in the room at the time that have got the same number, so it wouldn't really validate anything. It's the only thing I can think of.
But then again, how many people on this channel, when it's happened to you many times, Stace, when you give a reading, that there's so many out there can take the same information.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah, and it
There's-
takes so long just to find out who the person is going to. And Jen, as a medium yourself, as you said, you must get crossover links there. You're thinking, oh, come on, Spirit, give me something that would make sense. Well, just give me the name then. Give me your door number.
Definitely.
That would,
yeah.
Why is it that they can't do it? And as I say, I'm not doubting mediums, because I know there's some mediums can do that. There's a lot of mediums I have seen who can do that. There's many on this channel. Not on many others though, but there you go.
But it's like you just said, so many can take the same. I mean, I could say, okay, I've been given the door number 22. How many people will be able to take the door number 22? It
Not
wouldn't
me.
really validate anything. It wouldn't validate anything for
Well,
anybody.
yes and no,
there'd be-
because if it was a important part of your life growing up, and your nan lived at, for example, number 22, and you said, I've got a nan here, she's telling me she lives at number 22, that narrows down so much of someone, the other recipient, taking it. No, my nan never lived at number 22, she was a nursing home. So that narrows them out straight away. It's that evidence, it's that information
Yeah.
that makes that connection. I understand it probably works better in private,
Yeah.
but when you're on
Yeah.
a public platform, it's harder, and I understand that. But how many people can take it? And I see it on here all the time in the show, on the lives. I know that the hosts don't see all the comments, but I read all the comments. You know, you've got the lovely Terry and I are constantly watching YouTube and Facebook, keeping an eye on the comments that comes through, and then we feed that to the guests. Otherwise, there'd just be too much for them to take on, and we want them to concentrate purely on the evidence, the information. So, as Tracy just said, details, keywords, etc.
Yeah.
But can I go back to Jodie's? I know it's your show, Stace, and I seem to be taken over now.
No, it's fine. I was just going to go to Jodie, so carry on.
So Jodie Jen, let me just put that on screen for everybody. There we go. It's just said, interesting, yes, there is a point where your soul has learned all its lessons. And if so, what happens after that? If they no longer need to learn something else? Well, I think we constantly learn every single day. We constantly grow every single day. Every feeling, every emotion is different. When you fall in love with someone, that love is for that person. And if that love dies and you find someone else, you fall in love with them, that love will be different because it's a different personality. So there you grow fond of that personality. If you're learning about an emotion and feeling, because my thoughts, my belief is that we're here on this earth to learn emotions, not lessons. It's emotions, because every emotion is different. We can learn things. Why would I come back again to learn how to eat, to drink, to make love, to dress, to be with someone, to brush my teeth? I've done that before, so why do I got to learn that again? What's the purpose of that? An emotion is different because it's always learning and it's growing. Every emotion is different. When you cut yourself with a little blade on your finger to having a severe cut, it's a totally different emotion. So you'll never, in my view, and I'll say I could be wrong, I'm just airing my thoughts, and these are not my opinions, it's just what goes through my crazy mind when I have discussions like this, is that we're here to learn emotion. Because if we don't have emotion, we're soulless. We have nothing. You're just sitting there like a zombie.
That's
So
it.
there is no life. You're not learning anything. You're not growing. Because when you grow with an emotion, you grow as an individual as well. So if you suffer, which a lot of people do, from anxiety, from depression, this is one of the reasons why SPTV was set up, to help those people who are suffering from depression and anxiety, because it's a killer. And we need to try and support and help these people. And that's why I set it all up. But that is an emotion again. How many times when something goes wrong, we've had a hard day and we say, oh, I've had a real hard day. I could do with a reading, please. I see it all the time. Well, reflect on someone who's homeless at that point. Then your life isn't that bad, is it? And yet again, it's an
No,
emotion that
that's
we feel at that point, that we're angry. So when we're angry, we say things which we know we may regret. Or if you put a defense up, you say things in defense. So you say, yeah, I'm fine. Nothing wrong with me. But inside you're hurting so much. But you want to put that brave face on because yet again, it's an emotion. You don't want to show your emotions. So what do? We hide away from it. We don't want to show our emotions to others. But anyway, I'm waffling on again. Carry on, Stace. It's your show.
spirituality though, and living the spiritual life, that's all part of it. One of the concepts that I found during my research today was it's about becoming and it's about growth, and you can't grow unless you're constantly learning, whether that's learning to fail or learning to succeed or learning emotions or whatever it is. We're always learning about something. I don't think we're ever going to be to a point where there is nothing else to learn, because otherwise we wouldn't evolve. We wouldn't evolve as a race. That's just my view on it anyway. What about you, Christine?
I know. I mean, I'm taking it all in, but I think we're forever learning. No matter what age you are, you just day by day you learn something new. Although you're not realizing you're learning, but it's all we, as I've been told by people that've been doing spiritual stuff for years, you learn. Even they're still learning. It's nothing that nobody can say I know it all, because you're all still learning. It's some people. I mean, I've heard people say that people do a course and they think they're ready to go out there and do platform, but I don't know. I mean, it's all a learning. Whatever you do, you got to learn.
That's it. Melissa says, I hide my pain with a mask of smiles. A lot of people do. A lot of people use humour to hide their pain. Hi, Terry. I was wondering where you was. Hope you're well, my darling. Terry says, sometimes people go through so much trauma and so much pain that they can't allow themselves to feel those emotions, or they won't be able to continue with life. That I can relate to. Yes.
Very much so.
And that is the silent killer, isn't it? When you can't, you've been through that much that your body just defends itself by shutting that memory off completely. So yeah, I totally get that. Jodie says, so all the souls ever are always and have always been coming back to physical life, so death is life. See, I don't believe in death. I don't believe in the word death, because I don't.
Well, it's body death, isn't it?
It's physical transition, I call it.
Yeah, that's a good word.
Yeah.
Transition. I don't believe in death itself, purely and simply because when you look at all life forms, not just humans, when you look at humans, animals, plant life, sea life, whatever it is, we go back into the earth and we regrow. It's like, if you look at the seasons, spring, summer, autumn, winter, autumn is beautiful, it's colourful, but it's where everything is so-called dying. It's not dying, it's just rebirthing.
It's making way for new things.
Yeah, it's out with the old and in with the new.
Yeah.
With regards to the physical, I can't remember what there was two parts to that question, wasn't there? Just go back one, please, Richard. Back to Jodie's.
Find it now. Jodie.
Oh, sorry.
It's all right. There you go.
Have always been coming back to physical eyes. Now, I've always been coming back to physical eyes. I don't believe that all souls come back. I believe we have a choice to come back. Whether we choose to come back or not is a different matter, unless we are told that we have to come back because there's still stuff we learn. So no, I don't believe that all souls come back. I believe that some of the lessons that we might need to learn can't be done on earth and have to be done after we transitioned into the next life, so to speak. But yeah, I don't believe in death. It's not like I believe that we're immortal. It's not that at all. I just don't believe in things permanently ending. And if you look at the dictionary definition, it says that death is something that is permanently ended. Well, to me, life is not permanently ended because it continues on, whether it be through the soil, whether it be through plants, whether it be through animals, whether it be through rebirthing ourselves. It continues on. Continued existence of the human soul. Exactly, Deb. Exactly. That's what I was trying to say. Thank you. She puts it so much better than I do. Don't forget, people, you can come on and join us if you want to join in the conversation. You don't have to have your camera on. All we need is your voice. Come and join us for the conversation. We'd love to have you. If you've got any thoughts or any opinions that you wish to express. Eternal progress, it is the whole point. Exactly, Ashley. The universe is continually learning and experiencing life through us as incarnate beings. Totally agree. Totally agree with that.
Going back to that incarnate beings, for me, there's 8.2 billion people on this planet. Apparently, could be more. We've got a few 2,000 coming in on England. But anyway, immigration.
That's
so
a whole
8.2 billion people. So that means we have 8.2 billion guides. So if you believe that the guides are not us and they're from another wherever, so where do they come from?
Another realm.
Yeah, if it is from another realm, so where have they been, and where do all the people who has passed, have they come back? Have they regenerated, or are they still over there? They're playing golf, tennis. What are they up to? Why is it when the medium goes and someone comes through, why don't they just ask that simple question? What are you up to, Mum? What are you up to, Dad? What are you doing, Grandma? Oh, Mum, out with Dorothy. We're playing bingo later on this afternoon. Why don't we ask it? Maybe they do. I don't know. But I think it would be nice to have a conversation with spirit and not always have one-sided. Am I going to fall in love? Am I going to get that job promotion? Am I going to buy that new car? It's always about us, isn't it? About what we want and what our lives are. Why don't we just say, can you ask Mum if she's all right? How's she doing over there? Has she marked with Granddad?
Yeah.
Why don't we ask that? Why don't we just speak to them as we would do in a normal conversation?
You saying that, Richard, I had my aunt and that come through quite often, and my cousins when I used to do my Sunday lives. And they said, can you ask them, because my mum was here and their nan is my auntie, my mum's sister. So I said, where are you going now? So I said, well, I'm going to go and put a kettle on. We're going to have a cup of tea. I went, all right then. So, you know, I did ask them what they're doing.
We never really do, because we're too busy wanting to give messages to other people.
No.
It's like they put all the it's but you know what? Now Richard said that, I'm going to be conscious about doing that now.
Oh, I've done it a couple of times. I said to them, I said, well, I've given people what they want to do. I said, well, what are you doing? What are you going to do now? You know, when you leave me, what are you going to do? And a lot of them said, well, I might go for a walk, might put the kettle on, go and put my feet up. Yeah, okay then. What have you told all? It's weird.
Laura says, in my dreams, I've been shown different classrooms in heaven. Some have to go there to continue learning even after death. There you go. So like that little school of heaven. That sounds quite good, actually. Like a university.
Why wouldn't we carry on learning? If we're learning down here all the time, why would we not carry on learning?
Well, we'd have to carry on learning up there, because we'd have to, like say, I personally believe we have a life review, and I believe that we get taken through certain points in our lives where lessons should have been learned, could have been learned, that maybe weren't learned, why we kept repeating the same mistakes, all that kind of thing. And that's what, yeah, like kind of like a little university room,
Yeah.
kind of like a meeting with the headmaster.
Get the whip.
Ooh, I know. Yeah.
Right.
Oh no, none of that up there.
How do you know?
Yeah.
But
Well,
can I put you on the spot, Stace? And
oh, go on
Christine,
then.
Go on then.
what if we try an experiment tonight with mediumship?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What if we can ask spirit, this is collective, I mean everybody, to ask and say, for example, including you, Christine, and says, Dad, Mum, can you come through? What you've been up to? Can you give me some evidence that would prove that this reading is for me? I know it's not putting you on the spot, but what if that's possible? What if I know Deb Clark does that. She gives them what's going on. We've seen that many times in the show. But why can't we just do that right now? Why don't we have a test to see if that power of thought, because apparently power of thought is meant to work. So let's experiment. Let's try it. Let's, as a collective, say, Mum, Dad, whoever it is, their name. What you been up to? What you doing over there?
With our own relatives or with one of the viewers' relatives?
Both. Your relatives,
Okay.
my relatives, their relatives. So, for example, Laura Grant, I can see on the screen right now, could be saying, Mum, Dad, if you're there, or Dad, can I speak to you? What are you up to? Give me a memory that you and I share that to prove that it's you. Why not?
Okay, yeah, we
Surely
can
that would
try
work.
that.
Yeah.
What does everybody
Yeah.
else think?
Yeah, we can give it a go.
Yeah.
Why not?
On an experiment.
Put on
There
the
we go.
spot.
So, okay, I'm Jaylin, what have you been up to? Okay, let's keep Melissa on screen for a second
Okay.
then.
Keep her there.
You want to go first, Christine?
No, just I'm getting a feel.
I know, that's why I said you want to go first.
Pass the buck.
Mum, I've been running through the fields in bare feet. I took my socks and shoes off and I've been running through the grassy fields in bare feet. The sun is shining bright. And as I stopped, I picked up some little daisies. And I made a daisy chain, Mum. Can you remember when we made daisy chains? That's what I'm getting. Jaylin told me what shape the rock is found you years ago. She's looking for a rock, because she said to me she's running through fields, Melissa. No, I'm not picking up a rock. Are you, Stace? I'm getting she's saying to me, Mum, I've been running around the fields.
Yeah, I got the opposite. I got rocks. I got a beach. I got rocks. I got cliffs. Even before she said about the rock, I got the cliffs on a beach. So I don't know if this rock was found on a beach. But that's the image that I'm getting at the moment, and I'm seeing the waves crashing up the side. It's not your typical sandy beach. It's more like like the pebbly beaches. Come on, give me the shape. It's almost like I want to say a rough diamond, but it's rough underneath and smooth on top. We always did that when she was little, the fields. Oh, see, there you go. That's confirmation for you, Christine. Thank you.
Not to burst the bubble there, but isn't that quite generic? Sorry, Christine. Please, I'm not being.
No. It's all right. I can only give what she was giving me.
Yeah.
So.
Because when we say, for example, I feel like Clara doing something. Dave, how many? I've already seen the comments. People saying, "Yes, I did that as well. I did that as well." So
Yeah,
people can relate to that. If we say to spirit, "Come on, let's give us something specific. Tell us what you're up to over there." This is the experiment. We've got the information.
That's what she's telling me she's doing.
But tell her to get her fingers in gear then.
Let's see if she can connect back to me. Carry on with yours, Stace. I think what turned me away from the picture is her on the beach. So to me, that was too obvious. That's where a rock, well, when she mentioned the rock.
What you're saying yes to, Melissa.
Yeah.
It's the perfect shape of a certain rock I found for her. Well, the rock I was seeing was it was like a diamond shape, and it
It's
was
a love
rough
heart
underneath.
shape.
Move.
Stace.
Oh, is
It's a
it?
love heart. I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Yeah. I think, before Richard said loved heart, I'm seeing in my mind, I'm seeing lots of hearts. I'm not, she's not talking to me, but I'm feeling hearts. I've got hearts. Hearts, because I don't know, they're just all hearts in a row. I'm seeing. It's weird. And then I'm not getting anything from her. Maybe she's still running around the fields. Hearts.
Not a bad guess for a non-medium, isn't it?
Oh,
Heart.
well,
There you go.
That's
Yeah.
and then that's why I'm seeing heart. I'm not. I see. She didn't tell me, but I'm just seeing hearts.
See, I got a diamond. I got a diamond shape, and it was
heart-shaped rock. She got.
yeah. I was seeing a diamond. Why would she give me a diamond shaped rock then for you?
Maybe it's another one they found.
Did you find a diamond shaped one, Melissa? Because she's given me a diamond shaped one. It's smooth on top, rough underneath. And I do feel this would have been, it reminds me of a song, and it's a song called Strong Enough to Cry. And one of the words, one of the sentences in the song is something
You go,
about
girl.
tears turning coals into diamond. Richard said heart first, Christine, don't take the limelight.
Hearts, Terry. I've said it.
Bless you.
But
No,
Melissa
Let me
has
know
said
if you can understand.
her birthstone
Let me know if you
is a diamond.
her birthstone is a diamond.
Oh, there you
why
go.
it's a diamond. So that takes me to April. So her birthday would be April because diamond is the birthstone for April.
Can I just say?
I want to go to the beginning of April, around about the 3rd of April. Sometimes I'm out 2 or 3 days of my dates, but I want to go to the 3rd of April, which would make her an Aries, I do believe. Could be wrong on that because I'm not. Yes, thank you for that confirmation. There you go. That's why I got the diamond. So I hope. So now I know that I've connected with her. Let me see what she's doing. I'm not going to jump on Christine's parade and go through the fields, but I am seeing her in.
Can't find it. It is a teardrop, like a rock,
Teardrop Diamond. That's why I'm getting the song. Listen to that song. Listen to that song, Strong Enough to Cry. Would you understand Jalen having a bit of a lisp? Because I feel like my tongue is tripping over the top of my teeth and it's giving me a bit of a lisp every time I talk. And I do feel this was a problem she had when she was younger. And would you also understand her having braces? Again, I know that sounds generic because most kids have braces when they're younger, but I specifically want to give her the braces on the top 2 front of her teeth of where she had problems with a lisp that eventually she grew out of. Let me know if that makes sense. I'm trying to find out for what she's done. I'm asking her to show me an image because it's normally when I get images, I get them in photo scenes. And she's showing me an image of herself. I'm seeing sort of mousy brown to dark brown hair, shoulder length. And I'm seeing she's taking me from her head straight down to her shoes. And I'm seeing like they're not trainers, but they're not pumps either. They're somewhere in between. And they're dark navy blue with white laces. And she's wearing ankle socks with them with the little frills around the edges. She was born on April 22nd. Also, she's a Taurus. Would you understand where the 3rd of April then is? Please. because she gave me April, and okay, I'm not changing it, but she gave me April and then she gave me 3, and I interpreted it as the 3rd of April. So she had braces when she passed away. Thank you for that confirmation. So that's just to confirm that it's her that I'm connecting with. Okay, she's really liking these dark navy blue shoes. Apparently they was really comfortable because she had problems with her feet and finding shoes that fitted her properly. Most of the shoes that she had used to make her feet ache when she was younger. Would you understand that with Jaylin? And I'm also wanting to shorten her name to Jay. She didn't like her full name being used. I want to shorten her name to Jay. So my Uncle Mike's birthday was April 3rd. Thank you for that confirmation. I knew there was an April 3 there somewhere because she was bringing my attention to that name. So that just tells me that her and Uncle Mike are together then. But I want to shorten her name to Jay. Would you understand Jay being a nickname for her when she was younger as well? Outside of family. Don't feed me too much information. I'm trying to lose weight. I'm on a diet. Yes, thank you for that confirmation again, Melissa. Okay, so what she's showing me now, come on, don't stop now. We're doing really well. She's showing me now is a bucket. Why are you showing me a bucket? It's not a sand bucket, it's more like a water bucket. And she's playing in the water with her hands. And she loves the feel of the water on her hands. Would you understand Jaylin being a water lover? She loved being near water. It seemed to calm her. And she's showing me taking her socks and shoes off and paddling in streams. Would you understand a childhood memory of paddling in streams? Sort of like with the trousers rolled up. Oh, what's that? Is it? It's not crabbing. What do they call it? She's in the stream with a little net, and she's like looking for little
Tadpole?
fishes.
Tadpole?
Look. Yeah, she's just in the stream with the net, looking at what she can find. But I want to say, well, crabbing's come in for a reason. So I don't know if you've ever been crabbing on the beach, but she's showing me crabbing as well.
Was she more like
But
a
yeah,
brook
she's.
than a stream?
Oh, did you mean a brook or a book?
Brook. Was it a brook and not a
Brook.
stream?
A brook. Brook, stream, it's all the same to me. Brooks are a little bit thinner, aren't they? But again, that's what she's showing me. She's showing me with her trousers rolled up, barefoot in the stream or this brook, and she's looking at what she can find.
There you go.
Oh, that's what Christine said. So that's what she's doing at the minute. She's fishing for tadpoles. All right, my darling, I will leave her love with you because she's enjoying doing what she's doing. She liked the sound of the trickling of the water. Like I say, it always seemed to calm her. When she was near water, she was at her best. She was at her most peaceful mind. You'd understand what I mean by that. I feel like any other time away from the water, she was always overthinking and had high anxiety levels and was just a little bit busy in the mind to the point where it got overwhelming for her. Frogs. I've got to be honest, I didn't pick up any frogs. I'm not going to lie and make it fit. I didn't pick up any frogs, but I just saw her with the net in the stream or the brook, just fishing for what she could find. So yeah, I will leave Jaylin's love with you, Melissa, and thank you for working with us. Oh, bless your heart.
Well done.
Thank you.
But doesn't that just show them by having that experiment there that it can actually work? It's not coming through for a message of such. It's coming through as a memory of those
As a
happy
memory,
times.
yeah.
And look, Mum, this is what I'm up to. I'm keeping those memories alive. I was happy here, laughing, giggling. You were with me, sort of thing. It's giving you that memory back.
I'm going to remember that now.
And it's letting her know that a loved one is calm on the other side as well. Because like I say, I felt a sense of peace and a sense of calm with her when as soon as she got near the water, it was like her whole demeanour just completely relaxed, which relaxed me. So I picked up on that relaxation. Her last Facebook message was she wants to go to Florida to the ocean to be at peace. There you go. Well, she's at peace, my darling. I didn't see her near Florida. I didn't see her near the ocean. I just saw her by the stream and by the water, and she's at peace. So take that with you.
She went through my field.
Bless you. No, I don't like to make people cry.
She went through my field, Stace. She skipped through my fields to get to your stream.
She did. That's it. There you go.
Yeah.
Team effort. So who's next?
Yeah.
There's
Who
a
have we
comment
got
that Deb mentioned a comment earlier on. Bit of a lengthy one, but hopefully be able to read it okay.
Deb Clark. I never ask Spirit what they are up to. I always feel it's up to them and what they want to say. They're making the effort to come and talk to us, so I leave it to them to say what they like. After all, they have limited time to talk to us, and it takes a lot of energy. They give what they want us to know, not what we want to hear. I agree with that. I know when I'm there, I'll want to get as much as I can in. I won't want to be bombarded with questions. I can imagine that with you, Deb, as well, actually. I can imagine you just coming in, saying what you need to say, and then going off for a vodka.
But do you think then that's why a lot of paranormal investigations don't work? It work on TV because it's all been edited, we know that. And when you go on some paranormal investigations, not a lot happens. Is it, but do you think because they are being bombarded with questions after questions? Anybody there? Can you tap twice if you're there?
Oh, do you know what? I've watched a lot of paranormal things, some fake, some not fake, some for entertainment only, some genuine debunking before they go to anything spiritual. But when I've watched them, I've watched them like they'll provoke them and they'll be disrespectful and they'll be like, come on then, if you want to scare me, if you want me out this room, you've got to do this and you've got to do that. And I think then say, do you know what, if that was me, I would scare the living bejesus out of all of you, because you wouldn't want some stranger coming in your home saying, come on then, hit me, come on, do this, say this, do that.
No, they come in and say, can I have a cup of tea instead? Get lost.
Do you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? They would though, and it's like even if I was on the other side, I wouldn't want somebody coming in every week, different ghost hunters as they call them, coming in every week and disrespecting me, disrespecting my place of haunting, if you like. It just no, it's rude. You wouldn't take it as a human being, so why would you take it as a spiritual entity?
Some people I know when doing a bit of paranormal themselves on their own backs, and I went to a church connected to Pendle Witches, and I said to them, just a thing, don't bombard them with too many questions. They went, well, you seem to know a lot about this. I went, oh yeah, I've got to tell you that I dabble in it. I didn't give much away, but I just said, all you need to do is this. If you've got names or you hear anything or feel anything, just say to them, don't keep asking them questions. They will, if they're there, they will come to you.
And it's not so much the questions, it's how they ask. I don't mind if they're respectful and that, you know what, we come with love, we come with light, we come with respect. We just want to know a little bit more about you. You know, that kind of thing doesn't bother me. It's when they go in like, we've heard you've been scaring people. If you want me out this room, you've got to do this and do that. Like Deb says, if it was me, I'd be scaring the living bejesus out of them just to teach them a lesson. And with you, Deb, I would as well.
But then again, if they did that,
deserve to be scared.
So if spirit come in to scare them or give them an incident, they're going to come back again, aren't they? And back again and back again and back again.
But they'd come they'd come back anyway, because people like that can't get enough of it, can they? They seem to think it's fun and they get an adrenaline rush out of it. It's like
I
they
usually
need
get cold,
the
get
fear
bored, and want to go
factor.
home. You know, we've
Well,
been
that's
invited
really
onto.
disrespectful.
Yeah, it is. SBTV's been invited to many paranormal investigations. And when I say, yeah, that's fine, you got to pay for our travel expenses, and if we're staying in a hotel or whatever, then they don't really like that. They think it's all for free and all this sort of stuff because it costs me money. So shouldn't I be reimbursed? But anyway, deviated a bit here. So when I say to them, that's fine, we can be there. We bring our own equipment because we have our own high quality equipment, paranormal investigation tools, infrared cameras, etc. That's when they start to decline. Or I don't know if you're allowed to bring that. I'll have to speak to the organisers as well, or the host. Or well, wait a minute, you're bringing your gear in. What's the difference out of mine? Is it because I'm going to broadcast the truth where you're probably not?
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense. So spirit has this energy to communicate with you two and other mediums and everybody, because everybody has the ability. Just some people are enhanced. So if it takes a lot of energy to do that, how much energy does it to actually form in front of someone, or table tilt, or move something?
A lot.
Oh, a hell of a lot. A hell of a lot.
I did say to be respectful to them. And when you leave, say thank you. And they did. That's because it takes a lot out of them to come and connect to you. So,
Takes a lot out of them just to communicate. Like they've said, it takes a lot of time and energy for them, and they haven't got time to mess around and be all, you know. Debbie Callow says, I agree. I think the same when I've watched these programs. Yeah, some of them just are totally. I mean, I don't like the word ghost hunter for a start. That just fills me full of angst. Mrs. MB, they just want to walk amongst us in peace. Exactly. Yeah. We have to learn to live alongside each other if it's going to work properly. I mean, like you say, you wouldn't take some stranger on the street coming up to your face and trying to provoke you into punching them, would you? So why would you put up with that in spirit? Why would you disrespect anybody like that?
For me, if I was living in a haunted home, I would want to have a word with them. I would want them to come in and talk to them. I would ask for their rent money. They're living there rent free.
Oh dear.
Sorry, spirit, unless you pay rent, you can't live here.
Well, we've all got bills, you know.
At least you wouldn't have to feed them.
But it could be noisy. I could be sleeping or relaxing in a bath or something. Oh, don't picture that, anyone. Please don't picture that.
I can't believe you just said that on the live, Richard.
You're going to lift it up. You're going to have the energy, haven't you? Anyway, so did you want to have another go, another experiment then? Who do you want to pick on?
Yeah. Let's roll the names and see. Let me know if you feel drawn to anyone, Christine.
No.
Okay.
Scroll them.
I'm just making sure I'm in the right window, that's all. What was it? Right, so yeah, if people at home can just say something, saves me going through all the comments again. Please repeat what you have in previously. Otherwise, I'm going to be sitting here going all quiet, looking through all the comments. So yeah, just the idea is that this experiment is to, well, communication with spirit's always an experiment, isn't it?
Definitely.
You know, just don't give us too much, Stace and Christine, and too much information. Just maybe, you know, Dad, what are you up to right there, or whatever, you know, but try not to be too forthcoming with information.
Yes, we're mediums. We don't want to be a large. I'm on a diet. Doing quite well with my diet.
Yeah, see, Melissa's on my page. Oh, Richard, I agree with the spirits I use on my literally full energy, so I need that portion. Yeah, absolutely. Alicia is saying that this is where I worry you don't get any privacy if you have any spirits in your house. So, yeah. So someone
well, you do get privacy, Alicia. You have to what I do, and I suppose other mediums Deb might back me up on this. I have a deal with my team. They're not allowed in certain places. They're not allowed past certain rooms at a certain time of night. And that's my agreement. And I actually do an invisible zip up the stairs with a sleeping bag, so the only people that can come upstairs at night time in my room are my grandparents and my family. Anyone else, no, they have to wait. But they're definitely not allowed in the bath with me. That's my time.
Off from bed.
Laura Grant wants her sister, please.
Yeah.
Mrs. MB, Grandpa, what you been up to?
What is different about my mum and dad? What's the
My
difference?
name.
Mum.
You feeling any
darling
withdrawals for
son.
anyone?
Um, ooh. What are you feeling, Stace?
I'm not yet.
Mm,
Have you got anyone?
no, not yet. It's
Go back to Mrs. MB, please. Because I started rubbing my hands when I saw her name. Grandpa George.
Grandpa. Grandpa. Oh,
Go on if you've got something.
do you remember when I said to you I was doing one of my lives? I had a grandpa with me,
Mm-hmm.
and nobody could take him at night. His name was George.
Go on then.
Shall I try and get him back, or let
Yeah.
me see if I can see what Grandpa's been up to. I don't think she wants to know that. Let me see. You can come back to me, Grandpa George. That's very genetic, but I'm doing it. I don't know. He says to me, at this precise moment before you disturbed me, I was reading the paper and having a cup of coffee. The exact words, before you disturbed me, to me, I was reading the paper and having a coffee. Mrs. MB, would Grandpa be straight like that? Would he turn and say, before you disturbed me, I was reading my paper and having a coffee. Now I've got pictures of you sitting in he's in an armchair, but this armchair looks really comfy. You know when you get those armchairs that sort of eat you? Do you know what I mean? You sit down and they sort of hug you. He's got his feet up on a footstool. He's now got the paper down here. Yeah, he used to do that. And yes, he was straight out of it. Thank you. Have you got anything else in Grandpa George? Because now I've disturbed you, you might as well talk to me, eh? He said to me, do you know why I put my feet up, young lady? Why is that then, Grandpa George? Because it's good for your blood circulation. I'm getting told now, aren't I? Anything else? Mrs. MB? You need to put your feet up more, apparently. Grandpa George said you all need to put your feet up because it's better for your blood circulation. And while you're having a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, reading the paper. Okay. He said, I hope you don't get disturbed like I did. Anything else? I'm glad you come back because you were lovely for our anniversary. Yeah. Mrs. MB, haha, he was funny like that. But he's very, he's making me sit upright and apparently we've all got to put our feet up. Anything else for her? When you've got your feet up and you're having your cuppa, well, you got to have a diet. No, not just a diet. No, chocolate digestive biscuit. with the plain chocolate digestive biscuits. Okay. There. I've been told you've got to put your feet up. When you're having your cuppa with your tea or coffee, you've got to have a plain chocolate digestive biscuit with it. I do get them funny, don't I? Give me funny stuff, they do. And she's going to answer me in a minute. It takes a while, see. Are you getting anything, Stace?
Really, I've just got I don't know if this is with you, Mrs. Envy, or if this is a different connection I've got, to be honest, so I'm not going to make it up, but as I was listening to Christine, I got blurred vision, so I understand that Grandpa may have had to have worn glasses, and there would have been a very strong prescription because of his blurred vision, and even with his glasses he couldn't really see properly, so even though it looked like he was reading the newspaper, he actually couldn't see a word because of the small print. Let me know if that makes sense. I also got him with a pen in his hand, so I understand that Grandpa would have liked to have done the crosswords in the newspapers as well, because I'm seeing him with his legs crossed in the chair, pen in hand, glasses on his nose, like he's kind of, I'll demonstrate, he wants me to demonstrate, so he's kind of like that with his legs crossed in the chair, straining to see the letters and doing the crossword. Let me know if that makes sense.
Oh, Stace, you make me laugh because he just put his glasses on to his nose.
He had to do that because he was straining to see the letters,
Yeah.
and somehow
Like
he
this.
thought it'd make him
Yeah.
see better. Let me know if that makes sense, Mrs. M. But yeah, that's all I got with him.
Yeah, he's a character, all right. He's really fun. I'm glad at last I've got him to someone
He's
because
very laid back, very
oh
relaxed.
yeah, he is very, very laid back. Nice gentleman, so
Yes,
polite.
he had problems with his eyes, and my dad now has problems with his eyes. Oh, thank you for that confirmation, my darling. But yeah, I'm just getting him with his crossword, with his glasses like that, straining to see, but determined to get this crossword done. But he liked his Sunday afternoons. He liked during the week, it was Monday to Friday, it was work week, deal with whatever you got to deal with. Come Sunday, that was quiet day, that was his day to sit back and relax. Now, again, I know this is gonna, oh, he's changing my voice. Step back. I don't know if you heard that, but he's changing my voice. So Grandpa would have had a very deep voice. And I almost want to say, like, oh, I can't explain it. He's almost talking like he's got something stuck in his throat. So I understand that he'd have problems with his throat, not necessarily with swallowing or communicating, but he'd suffer with a tickly throat, I want to say, because it's very tickly, especially around my tonsils. Thank you for that confirmation. Now he's took the voice off me now. I can feel my voice going back. I don't know if you heard that change, but I certainly felt it. That's just confirmation that it was him that I was connecting with. But yeah, Sunday was definitely his quiet day, and woe betide anybody that disrupted it. He didn't like being disturbed. He had his family time, he had his social time, and he had his downtime. And he definitely didn't like his downtime being interrupted because that was important to him. He'd come across as strict, but he'd be very firm and fair. He wouldn't be tactile with his emotions. He wouldn't outwardly say, like, give hugs or loves or say I love you, but you would feel it in other ways. He wasn't one for expressing his emotions. I feel like he came from a military background as well. I'm getting an air of authority with him. So I don't feel he was in the military himself, but I do feel he came from a military background, if that makes sense. He liked his peace and quiet. Yeah, I get that. I get that with him. And that's all I'm getting, my darling. So I'll leave. He's given me, What's that? He's given me a crystal rose for you, clear crystal quartz rose. Clear quartz for me is about energy, it's about charging, and it's about recharging the batteries, and the rose is for unconditional love. So I'll leave that with you, my darling, and thank you for working with me, and I'll thank you, Grandpa, too, and send him back to the angels.
Okay.
And that's the end of the show, people. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for the conversation. We didn't get round to our question, but hey,
No.
that
Never
doesn't
mind.
matter at all. I've enjoyed it. It's been thought-provoking. It's
Yeah.
been interesting, and we'll save our conversation for another day. So thank you all for joining us. We will see you again in 2 weeks. And Mrs. B says it does make sense. Thank you so much. You're very welcome. We have Jennifer Rose at 8 p.m. tonight, so make sure you join SPT for that in just about half an hour's time. We will love you and leave you. God bless, stay safe, be kind to each other, and we will see you in 2 weeks.
Bye.